Hi, everybody. My name's Joe K. It's just another day in the underground. And today we're going to mix things up a little bit. We're going to be talking to one of my personal favorite producers. We've been friends for a long time via social media. He has really been making a huge impact here in the music scene over the last few years in particular. And I want to make sure we give some producers some shine. Everybody, welcome Poetics to the vlog. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate it. Too kind.
Hey, you deserve it, man. It's been a long time coming. I've been watching the journey over the years, man, and it's been really cool to watch. The growth,
Appreciate it.
yeah, man. No, hey, the growth you've had so from the first day I met you up until now has been absolutely phenomenal. You've been putting in a lot of work, and I want to make sure that people that are putting in the work are getting
Mm.
recognized. So,
Yeah, it's crazy because like most people I know in the music industry all met me like when I was a producer. So it's like it's crazy to talk to people like when we reconnected, I was just like I was like, this is so crazy because he's literally known me like throughout the entire time and watched like the progression over time and all that. It's
yeah,
crazy.
it's dude, it has to have been like 10 years.
Yeah,
Like
something like that.
I think it's literally been like 10 years cuz I first met you I
I
think via
remember
Facebook.
I remember it being at some point because when I started getting actually like involved in the underground was like the funk volume era.
Mhm.
So I remember being like in all the conversations with you and Lear and E and Postcard and
Oh
all
man.
that when Futuristic was entering the Don't Funk Up the Beats contest and like
Yeah.
G Ski and all those guys.
Shizzy 6
Yeah,
and
back when he
yeah,
was
dude.
Shizzy. I still
Yeah,
call him
yeah.
Shizzy all the
I
time.
dude, I
Postcard corrected me. He was
P,
like, "Don't
he's
let him hear you call."
postcards always going to be PFV to me, man. Like it don't
Yeah,
matter. I
he's
give
back to PFV now.
dude, I give him so much crap because that man's changed his name so many times, and I gotta keep updating the vlogs with like different tags and different
Yeah.
titles and crap, And I'm like, God dang it, man! Can you just pick a name? But it's cool because as far as what I remember, anyways. Although you may have changed kind of what you're doing, which we'll talk
Mhm.
about that, but
Yeah.
the name has always been Poetics.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah.
have any other names like at the time? Like, how did you come up with that
No.
name, and did you have any other ones?
The only other thing I did with it was I used to way back in the day I would capitalize the CNS at the end because it was my initials. And that's the other thing, like no one would catch it. And then half the articles written about me would just have Poetics all lowercase or just the capital P or like all of it capital a few times. So then eventually I got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna have it just regular, just capital P Poetics. That's it.
Yeah, that's good because that's exactly how I have you on the vlog here right now. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm gonna have to go back and change this crap. This ain't gonna
It
be
was
fun.
it was my cringy when I was a rapper, my cringy like I'm gonna make poetry rap, and so I'm gonna go by Poetics, but I'm gonna capitalize the C and S as my initials. And then like looking back, I'm like, bro,
That is
you're like
edgy.
14 when you came up with that, and it's so cringe.
It's so edgy, man. It's so edgy. No, but I think it's working for you, man, and it's come full circle.
Yeah.
And let's back it up a little bit. So you mentioned you got into underground hip hop back when like for you it was like the funk volume period was like when you were
Yeah.
heavy into stuff and you started connecting with a lot of different people. Um how much further back does this go? Like, did you always like hip hop music? Did you like other genres of music? Tell me a little bit about like growing up and like your
Mm.
experience with music.
Yeah, so like I think when I first discovered hip hop, it was like 4th grade. I remember my because I lived in a family where like we all shared one computer. So like and iTunes, even though you had like different user profiles, if one person bought a song, it appeared on everyone's iTunes. So
Ah,
my brother bought 50 Cent Candy Shop and Eminem Lose Yourself. And I remember listening to him and it was like it just clicked. I was just like, this is my new favorite thing.
yeah.
And then I listened to Toby Mac for like the
Dude,
longest time.
dude, you know you don't even realize how funny that is, man, because I actually had kind of a similar experience, except for it was later on in life.
Yeah.
I was in like, I think maybe middle school. I was like 14, 15, maybe like freshman in high school. And I had heard like
You heard DC talk.
Jay-Z. No, 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 no. I never got into that too much, but I remember Jay-Z, like the Blueprint 2, The Gift and the Curse was out. Like that album was
Yeah.
banging.
Oh,
Um, Eminem was obviously out at that time, and like he had been killing stuff already for a while. Kanye had just put out High School Dropout or whatever,
college
and
dropout.
yeah, College
Yeah.
Dropout, High School
Crazy album.
Dropout, yeah, College Dropout, and like that was like holy crap, like that blew my mind.
Yeah.
And then in between there, I started getting the like Seventh Day Slumber. I don't know if you've heard
Yeah.
of them before.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Third Day,
That was
Audio
what I was
Adrenaline.
listening to before I got into rap.
Okay, okay.
I was listening to Seventh Day Slumber, Switchfoot, Reliant K,
Yeah.
all those kind of
Yeah.
guys.
Dude, so like such good music though. Like
Yeah.
I played those albums on repeat, man. Like they were crazy. And then, Toby Mac,
Yeah.
I think it was Diverse City was the first
Yeah.
album that I
Great
had from
album.
Toby Mac. And
Classic album.
so it was autographed. So my girlfriend,
Ooh.
who's now my wife, right? This is how far back we go. But she had gone to a Life Fest. You're probably familiar with Life Fest, right? Like a big, huge,
I've heard it before.
yeah, big, huge
I think
Christian
I
music
think they
festival.
they canceled that
Mm.
like significant years ago.
Hey,
But
hey,
it,
I'm
it
old.
sounds
I'm
really
old.
familiar.
Okay, I'm old. I'm sure you heard about it when you were in third grade.
Yeah.
But no, man. Like she went there. She got me the signed CD and brought it back, and it was like, how the heck? Like that was like the coolest thing in the world to me, you know. And
Yeah.
through that, I just started listening to more and more hip hop. So I feel you
Yeah.
on the Toby Mac thing, man. Like Toby
Yeah.
Mac must be
Facts.
like he must be like the Christian gateway into like hip hop
Yeah.
or something. I don't know.
It was a combination of that, and then as YouTube first started to become a thing, I
Mm,
would get heavily into like watching freestyles and all that. Like I would go and then Dat Piff and
mm,
like live mixtapes and stuff. Like I would get into, because Eminem had some crazy mixtapes, and then like from that through him and 50 Cent, like I discovered like Jay-Z, The Game, like I used to be heavy into Young Jeezy,
mm.
like way back, just because I he would put out like a mixtape. Same with Gucci Mane, like they would drop a mixtape like monthly. and
That's
then and then I went through a whole phase after that where I became like I hated anything that wasn't lyrical miracle rap. as
same,
as I discovered the underground, I got into like where I hated Lil Wayne and Drake when they started
same,
coming out. I was like, I
same.
hate this. I remember doing a whole Facebook post that was like paragraphs about how Lil Wayne's the worst rapper of all time, and like how he like ruined rock music along with hip hop as
Oh
he is
no.
doing Rebirth, and like I was so like bitter. And then like over time I've just been like, yep, now I love Lil Wayne.
Isn't it funny, dude? Because dude, you are speaking to my soul right
Yeah.
now. Like, this is exactly how I have felt over the years. But do you think now too? Like, I think about like quote unquote mumble rap.
Yeah.
I swear to God, this is going to be the same type of thing that ends up happening to people. Like,
Oh
people
yeah.
are like this generation. There's going to be people that hate that crap because it's not lyrical enough or whatever. And then 5, 10 years down the line, they're going to look back at it because the progression of music will have changed so much
Yeah.
to something that is so unfamiliar with this
Yeah.
current generation. They're going to be like, oh my God, like that stuff back then actually wasn't even that bad compared to this stuff
Yeah.
now. Like that's how everyone kind of ends up looking at it. It's very cyclical.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I had that same experience already with Young Thug when Young Thug first came out.
hmm,
Like I remember being in that phase where I was like, this isn't even music. This is blah 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 blah. And then over time now I look back and I'm like, man, that music was fire. I don't know why it was, but it was just not what I was feeling in the moment.
yeah,
I was an
yeah,
angsty teenager that
yeah,
that loved Immortal Technique and Diabolic.
dude, stop it. Stop it. Man,
Bro.
these are like same. It's so funny, man. Like, although we're like a few years apart, we came into underground music at the
At about the
exact
same
same
time.
time.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of grew and started listening to a lot of the same people, like as they were, because dude, stuff was popping in like 2010. That was like one
Yeah.
of the pinnacles of like underground hip hop. Like,
People forget about mixtape era apathy too.
yeah, dude,
Apathy
stop it,
back then. Oh, the Eastern Philosophy album, top tier.
dude. Dude, I remember all those like apathy, cunnilingus,
Yep, I saw them live.
atmosphere,
High
like
school.
all those guys, man. Like I just remember like Army of the Pharaohs. Oh my
Yeah,
god, like
I've
just
been working with Vinny
ridiculous.
Paz, and it's like it's full circle for me now. Like it's
Yeah,
like everything came full circle.
yeah, I bet, man. You I remember you saying too that you got pretty heavy into Chris Webby,
Yeah,
back in like the
yeah.
Dat Piff era. Tell us about that a little bit.
Well, that's what sucks now is half of my favorite songs of his aren't on Spotify because
Mm,
they were all like the samples and remixes because he would drop like I remember because he was like when he was really popping, it was the same time when like Mac Miller was really popping off in that era, like the kind of like frat rap. But then
mm-hmm.
also I remember discovering Yellow Wolf around that time
Mm,
and getting super into Yellow Wolf and Ritz. Like when Ritz would drop like his remixes, like he had that remix of Cashing Out and
mm-hmm.
like he had some song that was all about cocaine. It was Love with the Coco. He had like a remix
Mm.
about it. That was just about like literally just being in love with cocaine. It's crazy. And then like the whole stick was that he was rapping crazy fast on it, like he was on cocaine, which I mean, he might have been. I don't know.
It's
He's been a
definitely
wild
possible.
dude in his career.
Yeah, yeah, it's been an interesting ride for him for sure, man.
Yeah,
So it sounds like you've had a lot of different influences, in hip hop around that particular time period of
yeah,
2010, and um, I know that we've kind of run across some of the same people, like
hmm,
underground rap, like people that were trying to come up around the same time as a lot of these people were blowing up.
yeah.
Um, People that come to mind for me, we had like the Team Backpack ciphers going on at the
Yes,
time.
sir.
We had grind mode ciphers going on. Like,
Team
dude,
Backpack makes me sad now because like some of their videos just randomly I try to find them and like they're just gone. And
they,
I'm like so
yeah,
sad about that.
they, I don't know
They
all the
changed their
details,
name. I know
but
that part, but
somebody like took over the company or something and changed the name and,
yeah.
um, basically halted all the like stuff that they were doing. Like
Yeah.
they tried to continue some aspects of things, but it didn't work. It just hasn't
Yeah.
worked. And we'll see if there's ever reemergence of that kind of stuff. But
Even like a few weeks ago, I was at an event. It was literally this is literally less than 2 weeks ago. I was at a big event in Arizona with Futuristic, and we brought up and we're talking about Team Backpack, and he like looked them up, and they had taken down within like the last year or so his cipher. There was like him, Chris Calico, and I don't remember who else was on it. Black Pegasus,
hmm,
and there was one other guy, but I don't. It might have been A1, but yeah. Even now, it's crazy because working with like Chris Rivers and Denzel Porter and those
Yes.
guys that were all from that era. Like they were all on there all the time.
Dude, the ciphers, like I had my own qualms about like Team Backpack and some of the stuff that they, kind of did and how they conducted things, but
Yeah.
the ciphers were always a good way to hear new artists,
Yeah.
and that's why I like them and like Grind Mode Cipher. Like for me, I stumbled across like Grind Mode Cipher in 2010,
Yeah.
like when they were first starting. Like I think I jumped in it like might have been volume one, like. I just remember them having like the cool color grading and stuff, and I thought the
Yeah.
videos were super cool for the time. Like they were top notch videos for the time,
Yeah.
and I just remember seeing that crap and like gravitating towards the ciphers. So then like Team Backpack came along, and for me, I'm comparing everything that Grind Mode was doing at the time to what Team Backpack's doing,
Yeah.
and I'm just like.
I watched
I was kind of hating in some aspects of it,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like at the time, but it's like
the past few months I went on Spotify one time and I saw that they had all the Grind Mode ciphers on Spotify. And I
yeah.
clicked through and like the first 5 seconds of like each one and all of them. Ayo. Like,
Lingo, dude,
yeah.
Lingo has more verses out there, I swear to God, than like any other rapper I've ever heard of in my life. You know how many freaking ciphers they got? Like
That's why he's connected to everyone now though. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Well, they started traveling and stuff. Like
Yeah.
they started going all over the place. But yeah, so long story short, Chris Webby, the ciphers,
Yeah.
the funk volume era with Hobson and all them, like definitely big influences at that time. At what point did you decide, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start rapping. Like I wanna try my hand at rapping, because you did that first. And
Yeah.
I want to hear a little bit about that story, and I want you to tell people, like, at what point were you like, you know what, I actually want to produce and I'm gonna focus my energy on this.
Yeah. So my biggest problem with the rapping, first of all, was I didn't have like when I was doing it, I didn't have the ability to like do it quality. And I knew that. Like I was recording on my phone. It was never good. But I was way too like emotional about it.
Mm.
Cuz I mean I was also like 16.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I remember my first video I posted was a remix of Look at Me Now by Busta Rhymes and Chris Brown and stuff.
Oh
And that was
snap.
like 2014. No, before that, like 2012, 2011, somewhere around there. And I remixed it and threw it up just because I was just having fun. I did because I had wrote lyrics for a while just for fun.
Hmm.
And like so I made the remix, put it on YouTube. It got like 3,000 views and it was like 90% thumbs down.
Yikes. The internet's a savage place, man.
Yeah. Well, it was rough, but now I look back and I'm like, man, I shouldn't have even released anything. Like I should have done it the right way. Like cuz that was the biggest problem was I just wanted to put stuff out even if it wasn't quality. Like even at the same time I remember I remixed like and also I like only did remixes for the longest time. But I remixed like La 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 by Chris Webby and then like a bunch of other just songs from that era. I Need a Dollar, which
Mm.
was also it was Mac Miller and Chris Webby, I think. But yeah, I just got super into and I think a lot of it was just the social aspect. Like I liked once I got into like Facebook because I remember it was around the same time I got Facebook that I was doing that. And
Mm.
I remember I remember discovering Underground on Top and
Yeah.
then getting in like conversations with people in the comment section. And then through that, discovering PFV,
Yeah.
Lear, Playboy the Beast, like all those guys. And I just kind of
Yeah.
got tight with them. And the Joker, who will not be named.
You cutting that whole
Who
part
shall
out.
not
No.
be named.
No.
But yeah, it was just for me it was more the social aspect than anything. Like I just liked having a bunch of friends that would all just post videos of them freestyling all the time. And I got really tight with Chance Watts,
Yeah.
the guy that was in Lear's clique.
He was like he was honestly one of my favorites from that group.
Yeah,
Super talented guy. I wish
fire.
he would have like recorded more songs.
Yeah.
Like
That was a crazy one because I literally met him on Facebook and then we found out that his cousin went to school with me,
oh, that's
like
crazy.
literally like states away. And we were just like
Wow,
mind blown. But
that's crazy.
yeah, and then eventually I put that down just because I got to college. So basically a little bit more of the story. I got to college and I like released some music, but I was too busy with school and I just didn't really want to, just because I didn't like how it was going. And then I got connected with some internships here and there, and I got an internship. My first internship was at a music venue, so I interned there, and I worked in their studio. Like I would like record. It was like this music venue that was also like a community place for inner city kids. So it was like they had a skate park outside. They had a studio where kids could come record rap music or whatever. And they had like a venue where it was like a venue that would be used for like concerts, but also they would set up like community events with the kids as rappers and have
Hmm.
them like each do like 15-minute sets or whatever.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
I ran their social media and then also helped run the studio on the inside. And then through that, I met Derek Miner came and was recording a music video there.
Hmm.
And so this was 2014 and I still wasn't producing at this point. But
Okay.
so I got tight with them from that because I met them at the music video shoot, like helped set up stuff. I was helping with like setting up lights and getting them people to do cameos. I did a cameo in the music video at the same time. And then after that, I got the connect with the head of the label. And then I interned with them the next
And
semester.
and for people who may not be familiar with
Mm,
Derek Miner, what
yeah.
label are you referring to?
Reflection Music Group.
Okay.
So they're technically the second biggest Christian rap record label. Because it's
We know who number one is.
yeah,
The-
we all know Lecrae and Reach Records, and
yeah.
I ain't got nothing bad to say.
No.
But yeah, so I got tight with them, and then I would like travel on the road. Like I would do merch. So like I would help every time someone ordered a sweatshirt for like a year or two while I was there. I was the one that would ship it out. So I would like go out to where they had all the merch, pack it up once a week and ship it out. And then I would also go on the road with them uh, and be the guy that would set up the merch table and sell clothes. So I did that all the time and got on the road with Derek and Cannon and I just clicked
Hmm.
because we would both switch off driving because they would drive like their own vans out there. So we would
Okay.
switch off driving and eventually I just started making a few beats here and there just for fun while on the road. And then I would play them for Cannon in the car. And he basically just told me, like, hey, man, these aren't amazing. But he was like, keep working. And then like he would like hook me up with sounds and like drums and stuff like that.
were you releasing these beats as you were making them, or were you just
No,
holding them for
no, I
yourself and
was
kind of sitting on them?
I didn't release anything. I purposely just like stayed to myself. I would post a few here and there, like on SoundCloud, and a few on YouTube, but not very often. And I would send some to like some friends. Like I remember Lear hopped one of them, and I think it's still on SoundCloud, but it was like a little Yachty type beat.
Okay, interesting,
And
interesting.
yeah, there was a few here and there like I would send out, but for the most part, like the first year, I didn't send out much.
That takes some self control, man. Because
Yeah,
in today's era, like people don't do that, and I think
yeah,
that is super wise of you to do that. Like
yeah,
to just hold on to stuff, like kind of hone your craft a little bit, like get a little bit better. Make sure you're putting out whatever you put out is like as quality as you can at the time, and
yeah.
up to like a certain standard at least. People don't do that anymore, man, and it
Part of
like
it, part
it's
of it was
crazy.
having someone who had quality music that I would bounce everything off, and he would be
Okay.
like, "Yeah, man, you should work on this before you do the next one. Like you should try to get your kicks to hit harder. You should bring down the hi-hats in the next mix. You should
Yeah, that's
you should
huge.
try doing more switch ups. You should try doing less switch ups." Like but
Yeah.
so that was part of it too. And also I had just grown up to where I was a that's part of the issue that I have with a lot of people is because I'm very self-aware. Like if I make a beat, like I can tell the next day if this beat is bad and this beat's good, like I know to send out this one. But some people just like when I see like a 50-year-old rapper that's on Instagram and it's still bad, you know what I'm talking about? Like it's
Yeah.
never progressed at all. I'm just like, how are you so unaware? Like, you know?
I think it comes down to the people that are around you. And from what you were
Yeah.
just describing, you had somebody who didn't blow smoke up your butt, told you,
Yeah.
"Hey, I'm gonna be honest, these beats aren't great, but keep at it, and here's some advice to how to make them better," right? It's not
Yeah.
just coming in and hating on you. Like, I think that's the difference between people that are building a real relationship, with other people,
Yeah.
and the internet. The internet's a
Yeah.
place where you go and you just voice your opinion with zero direction to make things, any better or make any kind of correction. Like,
Yeah. That's
imagine
facts.
imagine you throw out your beat online and it sucks. All you're gonna see is 1,000 comments saying you freaking suck. Like this is horrible. Like hanging up now.
It's
You're
all
gonna
like
get
kill
very
yourself.
yeah. Like it's you're gonna get very little like
Yeah.
actual advice. So
Criticism.
having someone like that around you though that you were describing, like that's a
Yeah.
huge step in the right direction.
Yeah. It was a big blessing. And then over time, as I just got better, eventually I produced a song for him and he had a good following. And what also separated me was I was way better about than most producers I know about, like I knew how the game worked coming in. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew like I have to put in groundwork. I have to build a platform and a name before I do anything else. So I told you this before, I didn't the whole first year I was sending out beats, I didn't ask anybody for payment. And I was in college, so I could have used payment. but, but I was purposely hitting up big artists. And
Mm-hmm.
in my message, I said, I want you to, like, I just want to get a placement with you. I don't want any royalties. I don't want any payment. Just tag me on Instagram. And because of that, I got tons of followers, like off the bat. Like, I got a ton, like, and those big artists following me back because they're like, oh, this guy's cool. I want to build with him. So they would
Mm-hmm.
follow me back and then shout me out and comment on all my stuff. Like even now, like I mean, if you go to like my posts on Instagram for the most part, you'll see like Mac Lethal commenting, futuristic, Chris Rivers, like you'll see them commenting, and it's because we're actually like friends.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And it's been
Yeah.
cool because I've gotten to kind of see, from the outside looking in and watching this kind of develop over time. And
Mhm.
like I remember, dude, I remember you pitching those first couple of beats to like everybody. Like
Yeah.
just trying to get anybody to rap on them, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was like radio silence, you know? Like all
Yeah.
of a sudden you were
That
just
was when
gone.
I
I'm like,
that
what
was
the heck
when I
happened?
got fed up with Facebook.
Yeah. But I think the good that comes out of that is you continued to hone your craft and you continued to focus your energy on the people that were going to help motivate you and help guide you in the right direction and open up some opportunities for you, you know? I think I think again, like I can't say it enough. I think the approach you took not only to who you gave your time to during that
Yeah.
beginning period, but also the fact that you were giving away beats for free.
Yeah.
Again, these days that's like unheard of. Like people just, even if it's crap, they think they're worth,
Yeah.
they think that their time has a certain dollar amount on it that they feel is accurate that doesn't match with the quality they're putting out. And so then they end up getting less people working with them and they lose
Yeah.
out on opportunities that otherwise would have been there. So I think it was really smart of you,
Yeah.
man, to do that. And I think that's game for any other producers that are out there that are up and coming and trying to learn of some kind of a strategy to help build, not only your connections within the industry, but help to make a better name for yourself. It's the
Yeah.
things you mentioned. Don't just put crap out right away
A
and
lot of it too
do it
is
for sweat
like
equity.
because I have like a music business degree. Like I
Mm,
went to school and I learned the business, and every single class we taught every single different business class in a different area, we all learned about supply and demand. And
mm-hmm,
there's a massive supply of beats out there. You signed
mm-hmm.
up for, I've seen your posts about Anno Domini. Like
Yeah,
there's no way, like if you're a new producer coming in, you can charge $500 for a beat when someone can get for $5 a
500
pack of
beats.
500 Anno Domini beats.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, it's there's no demand. So it's
yeah.
like you have to create demand. So that's why I did whatever I could to build my brand and build connections, because like I would work with people, and like I told, I was trying to describe to people before about like, because they would get their first big placement and they would hit me up and they'd be like, man, he asked me like how much I want for it, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, give it to him for free. And then he's like, why? And I'm like, bro, even if he charges you, like you charge him like 200 $300, he might pay you, and if he's a big artist, he might not even release the song. So it's
Yeah.
like if you give it to him for free and he makes a song with it, he's way more likely to release it because he doesn't have to give you splits. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like he's willing to put it out. Then they tag you, because of that you sell 30 beats.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man. And you know the irony in that too is like a lot of like underground or just not mainstream artists, like
Yeah.
popular artists, but maybe they're just not mainstream. So many of their fans are also rappers, are also producers, and
Yeah.
they're inspired by these artists, and a lot that's a lot of the followers. They happen to love the music, and they also happen to have it as a hobby or maybe trying to pursue it as a career. So I think that's great advice, man. Let's talk a little bit about the transition from rapper to producer. What
Mhm.
what was your breaking point where you said like, you know what, I'm done rapping. I'm gonna focus my energy on producing.
Yeah. So when I first started producing, I had like it took me a while till I got to the point where I had anything that I thought was good. But then once I got to the point where Canon was telling me like, yeah, man, these are fire. Like, yeah, I'll make a song with this one, we'll put it out. Then I started kind of like rethinking like how I want to go about things, because I was like, I could go like a Russ route. I mean, I think this was technically before Russ, but just as an example, I was like, I could go a Russ route, like rapper produces his own beats, does stuff on his own. Like I could go that route, or I could go DJ drama route, like just producer featuring artists. So I basically had like, I call it a God moment, but I mean, you can call it whatever you want, but I had a moment where I was like, I'm going to go either one of these routes. So I basically, in a way, I like kind of told God, like, I'm going to put out, because I didn't have anything at the time on Spotify or anything like that. I was like, I'm going to put out 2 songs everywhere. One of them is going to be just me rapping my own beat. One of them is going to be me featuring several artists. And I'm not going to rap on that joint. It's just going to be featuring artists. So I put out the rap single. It got 200 streams with me pushing it hard. I put out
spamming everybody.
Yeah, bro, the copy paste Facebook message. You know what it is. You know the, hey man, show some love.
I know about that.
We're grinding out here in the game.
We be grinding. All I need is a like and a follow.
You know I like all your posts.
Come on, man. I like the last 13 of your posts. You can't even like one of mine. What the heck, man?
But so I did that, and then like 2 months later, I was like, okay, now I'm gonna do the producer one. I released that. Within a week, I was on Rapzilla, which is the biggest Christian hip hop blog. It had got like 15,000 streams. It got like featured by a bunch of people, and then one of the artists on the song started to kind of blow up on his own. And so then that trajected it too, because it was like one of his only features. So that got it even more placement. And then we got on Track Stars, we got on Spheres of Hip Hop. Like it just kind of got picked up and started going places. So then I was like, okay, obviously that, like most people would have viewed it like, this is my return on investment or whatever. But I viewed it as like, this is my sign from God telling me,
you're calling,
go this way.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like blindfolded, like I didn't have any plans. I just kind of like went out and just started, like it was like watching like a blind guy with a stick trying to find out what's out there. And I just kept getting, like, door would open, go through that door opens, go through that door. And then I kind of like, I was the first producer that I know in Christian hip hop that released singles like that. Where now I know a ton, but
it's like standard, yeah.
Yeah, because now it's a standard for producers to do that in a lot of ways. Like you see, like even on the mainstream, Pierre Bourne, TM88, like there's tons of big producers that do that now because they see the potential in it. But I mean, I don't think I know anyone else that was doing that back then besides Snow Goons. Snow Goons was really good about that.
Dude, yeah. Snow Goons.
See, fire. I know my stuff. I know my
Snow Goons fire, stuff. Man. You're everywhere. You're in like all the worlds, man. Like I which I think is really interesting too. But before I forget, what was the first track you put out as like a rapper? And then what was the track that you're talking about with the other artists on it? Who was on that track and what's the name of it? Just so people can check it out.
The single was what was it called, bro? I'm gonna open my Spotify real quick. I gotta go back to remember the name of the one of me rapping.
Was it the I'm Just Living?
Yeah, that's it. It's I'm Just Living. And then Now They Gon' See was the producer single.
And who was on that song? Do you remember?
Jerry Mana, Zay Ortiz, who also mixed it for free to be on the song, And
Nice.
then so Jerry Mana, DeAndre, who was tight with some other artists that I wanted to work with, and just solid guy. Zay Hill, Zay Ortiz. And then me and Zay Hill did a ton of work after that.
Nice. Nice. So again, like one of those things where you're putting in the sweat equity and at the end of the day, like you're just trying to kind of build that portfolio, so to speak,
Yeah.
and get those connections started. And I think it's paid dividends over the years, man. And I see you still doing that. Like the grind has not stopped, man. Like I
Yeah.
continue to just see you grinding all the time. And like, yeah, I'm sure, now maybe your standard has changed as far as like you have the options to work with people or
Yeah.
not work with people. Whereas
Yeah.
before you're just trying to like, let's just get some stuff out there any way
I
possible.
definitely the difference now is I have to choose what's worth it. Where
Mm.
back then everything was worth it. If it got me five new followers, it was worth it back then. Where
Mm-hmm.
now it's like now that I have a platform, it's like the hard part is making the decision like, do I turn down this guy even though I like his music because he ain't grinding for a platform like that? Because if they're not
Mm-hmm.
equally grinding, it ain't worth it, no matter
Yeah,
what, in
dude,
general.
I, again, hitting my soul. You're hitting my soul, man. Like
There's
that.
a lot of people that I don't work with anymore because they didn't grind like I did.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's true. And I've seen a lot of people come and go over the last few years too. And, like I said, like you're just one of the people that keeps grinding and keeps moving up and trying to expand and putting in that
Yeah.
work. So that's why I wanted to have you on, man. Like I wanted you to kind of tell your story a little bit and let people know like what the strategy was behind what you did and how you got to where you are now, and that the
Mhm.
grind don't stop now.
Facts.
It's just starting. Like you you
Facts.
you just broke through the surface. Like
Yeah.
now you got to keep leveling up, and that's what I see you doing. And with everyone that you work with, man, you're always putting out quality products. So shout out to you
Appreciate the
for that.
love, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Um, there was a couple other things here I wanted to make sure that we covered.
Yeah.
Um, now you throughout all this process, right? You kind of told everyone the story about you
Mhm.
rapping, then you're in college and you're getting into making beats and doing the tour hand thing, for a while there and just helping out and working in music in general.
Yeah.
During all of this process, you get married, right?
Yeah.
Like
Facts.
yeah, all this stuff going on, you get
The
married.
best part.
Yeah, probably the biggest decision in all of this, right? Like all these things going
Yeah.
on, big, huge, life-changing decision. How has that, impacted the work you do or the drive you have to succeed? And what is the support been, since getting married? What does that look like for you?
It's been a huge support because it's whenever, because I'm also someone in general, like I've always my whole life struggled with like second guessing everything I do and like every decision. So having someone else who sees everything I do and then can encourage me in that moment to be like, yeah, you should chase this. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
was working at Starbucks, and I was miserable at Starbucks, bro. I hated, like, I mean, I liked the people, but I hated the job so much.
Yeah.
But like having that, because it was the kind of thing too where it was after I finished college. Like I had applied to a job at a major record label and even got to like the interview process and everything. Like it was at Sony. I
Mm.
had like the interview process and everything after being an intern there too. So that's a
Mm.
whole nother story. But I applied for the job and they told me like, we don't want to give you this job because we feel like you're too passionate about music. Like you're
What?
too passionate about my own music. Like,
Ah,
cause
okay.
they knew my social media and stuff. So they knew
Okay.
how hard I wanted it. And they were like, we don't want to give you this job when you should be pursuing this. and because they knew me really well. I didn't turn over a year, like
Okay.
so then I was working at Starbucks and just hating it because I was like, they're acting like they know me,
They don't know
and
nothing.
they're forcing me to work at Starbucks because they don't want to hire me. But
Oh no.
like but eventually like the production just kept picking up. I just kept getting placements, and then eventually I had this like conversation with my wife, and she was just like if you want to do this, like you might as well go 24/7 with it. So
Hmm.
that's what I did. And because before, until that point, man, I was waking up 3:30 in the morning to be at Starbucks by 4, to then work until noon, and
Oh
then
my
get
God.
off, then knock out beats before she
Jeez.
got back at like 6 p.m. to then fall asleep by like 8, to then wake up at like 3 a.m.
Dude, again, like I can't stress it enough. Like the grind, the constant grind.
Yeah.
And I think there's such a stigma with people about like even when they're first starting out, right? Oh, you can't have a 9 to 5 and like I need to
Yeah.
focus on my energy. You still need to live and like
Yeah.
support yourself, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Facts.
you need to be an adult at some point, and you sometimes that means that in order to pursue your dreams, you got to live the nightmare for a while so that you
Yeah.
can make your dreams an actual
There's
reality.
there's zero shame too. It's like I have artists bigger than me when it comes to like platform, that they tell me like that they do Uber Eats on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do that every weekend to get an extra few hundred. And so it's like I've told several artists, because they'll hit me up like crying about money and like, man, if you need a feature, I'll do it for like $50. And they're like on their last leg, and I'm like, bro, just get a job.
Yeah.
There's no shame. Like you might as well, like you
Yeah.
might as well give yourself the flexibility to be able to do that and your career.
Yeah. Well,
Like
and you can
you have to
invest it
grind
in
a
your
little
career.
harder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you invest the money you're making from your job
uh
into your career.
Minus,
Mm.
I love the way he invests in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because he's got he's buying big features and like actually grinding them out and getting quality videos and quality mixes, and then eventually putting them out. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
respect that a lot. That song he did with Crooked Eye,
Dude, that
what
the banger. Banger.
banger. One of my favorites, like underground songs in a long time.
Yep. Yep. I definitely go check out Minus. I've been a huge supporter of Minus over the years, and you
Great
know,
dude too.
yeah, dude's always been cool.
I couldn't
Never.
remember the name for a second because I knew him by his name, like
Yeah,
his
yeah.
government name on Facebook.
Yeah. I feel you on that too. But dude, that's just because we've been friends with dude for like 100 years on
Yeah.
Facebook and social media. Um, yeah, it's funny, man, because doing the vlog and stuff, like I get to see a lot of people come and go, and like as I do more vlogs, it's like someone ends up getting into a camp with someone else that maybe I'm talking about that camp or whatever, and they're not liking what I'm saying, so then all of a sudden
Yeah.
like dude, I was friends with Minus for a long time, and all of a sudden it's like poof, gone, and I'm like, what the heck happened? It's like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here.
Mm,
Like, one of those type of situations, and it's like I can still support the art. Like, what do
yeah.
I care though? You know what I mean? Like, it's
You have
like,
the ability, unlike some people, to separate.
yeah, it's like, you know what? Like, I may not like a particular thing that XYZ person's doing over here, and I realize that that's going to burn some bridges with certain artists, because this industry is all about connections and building connections and
Yeah.
networking and things like that, and that's fine, and people don't want to get in the middle of that, and sometimes people just being associated with somebody will be like, oh, well, you're associated with that person, oh, well, I don't like you anymore then.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like, I still can see the grind, and I can still, support the music and the message that he's putting out, and that goes
Facts.
for anybody. Like, I want to see people like that succeed because they're so good at what they do, and they've been grinding for such a long time that it's cool when they
Facts.
actually start reaching the level of getting on the radar of some of these bigger underground artists and working with them, whether it's paid or otherwise. Like, they've put in enough work to be able to purchase a feature and have a quality enough product to even have the person they're purchasing it from say yes. You know what I mean?
Facts. Facts. Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
yeah, it's wild out there, man. It's absolutely wild. But yeah, I think that's great that you got such a good support system. It sounds like
Yeah.
with your wife being supportive, and like when you guys met and you're in the middle of like all of this stuff, while you're going through college and meeting her,
Yeah.
and like
And
that's
then moving across the whole country.
yeah, dude. You've been a little bit of everywhere. It sounds like too. So
Yeah.
it's
It's wild.
it
It's wild.
you're and let me know if it's not okay that I say this, but
Oh no, you can say it.
you're in Arizona right now, right?
Yeah, yeah, I'm in
So
Phoenix.
you're in Phoenix, and something recently happened. You're starting to work with a
Yeah.
certain somebody. Can you tell us a little bit about the relationship you have with your new is it management company?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
tell
I
us a little bit about that.
I'm managed now by Support the Homies Management, which is owned by Futuristic and the other guy George, who he's more of like a behind the scenes guy, but you can get his Instagrams push the genre. He works a lot with Futuristic.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that all came too from what we were talking about before. I had hit up Futuristic like a year ago because two of my friends had got features from him, and I had produced both of those songs. And they were both one of them was Postcard, and then another one was my friend Cold AF. So I hit Futuristic up with just a message saying, "Hey man, I don't know if you'd be interested. I produced this song and this song that are coming out in like a month. I'd really love to send you some beats completely for free. I don't want," and at this point, I could be just charging for beats, but
Mm-hmm.
I saw an opportunity and I was like, this is the opportunity to, like, this is how you get the opportunity. So I hit him up and I was just like, I'd love to send you beats completely for free. Take whatever you want, just put something out with it. And then I got a placement on his album. And
Nice.
after that, he started setting up sessions that were called Creative Chaos, where he would basically just invite all his artists and producer friends to his house. And they have 4 studios um, in the, well, it's not his house, it's like a studio house. He owns a house that's just a giant studio, basically.
Nice.
But and there's like a green room there, like a bunch of stuff, so you can just get as much content as you need. So the first time I showed up, there's like 40 different rappers there. Chris Rivers, Oswin, uh, uh, Lex Batcher, tons of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull up and there's like 5 other producers, and we all start pitching beats. Like we have like an hour that's just like we just all plugged in and played a few beats, and the next person plugged in and paid a few beats. I had like 3 beats get picked for people. That night, me, Chris Rivers, and I just said his Denzel Porter. We made a song that night, and the next week he did it again. I pulled up. There was 2 other producers.
Mm.
The next week I pulled up me and one other producer. My guy E Freezy. And then the next week I pulled up and it was just me. And so then we had a whole session, me, Oswin, and a bunch of other people cooking up songs for Oswin. And I was the only producer there the whole time. And then a week later, I flew out to Austin for a bunch of video shoots with Canon. And Futuristic hit me and he was like, "Hey, man, I'm starting a management company. I want you to be the only producer I'm going to manage. I think I could help you take it to the next level. And it just made sense. And he sent me the contract, and it was, which that's the other thing, is I didn't sign the contract right away. I thought about it.
You read it?
Yeah, I read it, and
Yeah.
it was also a very basic contract. Like it
Mm.
was very easy to go through, really good terms. So I was just like, let's just do it. So yeah, now I'm managed by Futuristic, and it's crazy because it's another thing, full circle. Like I
Yeah.
told him, I was like, bro, I was listening to you before you blew up the Don't Funk Up the Beats contest. I
Yep.
I I told them the thing about I remember when Token was making Yellow Wolf remixes on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it was
And
like 13-year-old.
14-year-old. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say friggin' 10-year-old rapper,
Yeah.
kills whatever song. Yeah. Yeah.
Barely born baby, 2 years old raps.
2.5 month
Bro,
old
I
freaking
remember
Token.
though him entering. You remember MK Loves?
Oh, I remember MK Loves, all right.
Yep.
Yeah, there's another one that, we've done some bashing of the heads for sure.
Yeah, I did. I
Yeah.
didn't know that one.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude had the glove, the Michael Jackson
Yeah,
glove and stuff. Yeah, I remember
and
him.
just roast everybody.
Yep. Yep.
But I remember he hosted a contest and Token won it. And I reached out, and bro, at the time he was charging $40 for a feature, and I passed the opportunity.
Oh my God. That's what happens when you're 13
Yeah,
and broke,
yeah.
$40 might as well have been 4,000 at that point.
He's probably like, I don't want to pay for features, but my mom says.
Oh man. That's crazy, dude.
But yeah,
That's
I passed
crazy.
on it. I passed on it, and 2 years later regretted it.
You're like, God dang.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude, that I remember Hobson selling verses for like $50 or something,
yeah.
and up on like Tiny Chat and stuff, and like,
Just
dude,
imagine, bro.
stuff was crazy back then, man.
Yeah.
But speaking of like random things you've encountered over your time and just working in music, didn't you at some point like run into NF or something like before he
Yeah,
blew up?
before he
What
blew up.
what the heck was that about? Tell us about that.
So he wasn't even like popular yet. He had released music under another name, Nate Feuerstein or whatever. You can still find he has an album out under that name. But so it was while I was an intern at that music venue. So
Hmm.
this is like the beginning of 2015. He hadn't even released the Mansions album yet. He just had an EP of like 5 songs. And he had one of them that started to get a little traction called All I Know. That was
Mm-hmm.
like one of his first, it was like his first kind of big song. Like it didn't have 1 million views yet when I met him. But so I was at Derek Miner's video shoot, and that was the day I met Derek Miner too.
Mm.
So I met him, and he was just like asking about the place, and I'm an intern there, so I'm like telling him about it. I'm like, yeah, it's a music venue and a skate park, and they have the studio where kids come and record music. And he's like, is there like any concerts happening? And I'm like, this guy NF is doing a concert tonight. And he was like, do you like NF's music? And I was like, yeah. And then he's like, he said I'm gonna make a white kid's dream come true. And so I was like, what? And he's like, let's go meet NF. So we just walked over, and they just let us in. And he was doing his sound check, and he stopped his sound check when we got in there, and then walked down, and we chatted for like 15 minutes, just kind of about music. And because he was very Christian hip hop back then.
Mm.
So it was like he knew Derek, and he looked up to Derek at the time.
That's
But
so interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
bro, super weird. Because
It,
now he's like the opposite. Like, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
he's not the
Well,
opposite, but
yeah.
he's like the dark, broody, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and I got into the NF lane like way late.
Yeah,
So I remember I did like a quick like video recording. This has got to be like 7 or 8 years ago, dude. I
yeah,
did like because I have a bunch of like half written songs that are out there. And I remember I sent this snippet to somebody. It was like 1.5 verses or something to one of the songs I was working on. He's like, "This kind of sounds like NF," and I'm like, "I don't even know who the frick NF is. You know, like who the heck's NF? You know?"
Yeah.
And
Weird name, right?
yeah, like NF. Like I don't know who that is. You know, this is years and years ago, and then like maybe 3 years ago, when he put out oh, what the heck was it? Not therapy session, but the one after that. Is it
Perception.
perception? I think it was perception. Right before he put that out is when I started like seeing all his videos popping up on like YouTube and crap, and I saw
Yeah.
like this massive push. Like
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about though. Like
Yeah.
all of a sudden it was
That's
like
that's major label money.
yeah, it's just like all of a sudden like this dude's everywhere, and I'm like, NF, where did I hear that from? And I'm like, oh yeah. So then I started listening to some of his stuff, and
Yeah.
like I like his music a lot. And since I kind of listened to him in reverse, it's a
Yeah.
different experience for me because I'm used to
Yeah.
like new NF compared to old NF, and when I listen to old NF, it's like
It just doesn't hit the same.
it's like it's like if I give my kid Nintendo Switch, but then they start with that and I bring them back to like Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
what is this crap? This is horrible. But the people who had been playing Super Nintendo are like, this is awesome. This is still amazing.
Yeah.
But like, hey, this Switch we got now, they're like, this is pretty cool too. Like these graphics
Yeah.
are crazy good now. Like this is looking and feeling way better. Like I just got a different experience because I kind of got things out of order, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I slowly progressed with each album, and I actually I like each album he's put out more.
yeah.
Clouds had a few songs I didn't like, but I don't count that because that's just a mixtape.
Clouds was weird to me, man. Like I do like the fact that he had a Hobson feature, which is like the fans have been wanting that for
Hobson
such a long time,
bodied
man.
him too.
Dude, Hobson killed his verse, man. He freaking
I haven't
don't
said
even
that in a
know.
long time too.
Dude, Hobson murdered that verse.
I used to have to say that like every few months when Hobson was.
We need some Hobson back. But I think he's gearing up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. As soon as he can tour again, that's gonna be when he comes back.
Yeah, I think he's gearing up and getting ready to drop something, but I don't ever hold my breath for that. But yeah, and the dude had the Tech 9 feature on there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know Futuristic's the reason for both of those?
For real?
Yeah. Yeah.
How the heck did how did he work on that?
He was tight with NF and because they had a collab when he was first coming out, and he was talking about he was talking to him about it, and NF said he wanted to have a feature too to kind of break his streak of like never having features, and so he connected him with Hobson and Tech. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, it is. That's the song I was thinking of. I had to look it up real quick. I'm like, there's a song with Futuristic. What the heck was it? It was Epiphany, which is a fire song.
Yeah.
Like freaking fire
I had
song.
an epiphany. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a great song.
It's such
Crazy
a good
video,
synergy.
too.
Yeah, it's such a good synergy between the two, and like how they kind of play off of each other like throughout the entire song. Like it's so good, man. Anyways.
Yeah. Classic.
So dude, we covered a lot. I really dude, I really appreciate the time, man.
And talk all night.
Same, man. Same. I already know I'm gonna have to chop this thing up into like 75 clips. But I am gonna release this in its full glory, you know, so that people can really feel the full embrace of Poetics and who you are, and really get the full story here, you know, with all the extra banter. So you know, we'll make sure to do that. But thanks again for your time, man. Like I really do appreciate it, and keep doing your thing, man. Like it's so cool to see you moving up and continuing to put in work, man.
Yeah, no problem, bro. I appreciate it. It's been a wild ride, but it's not gonna stop anytime soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got another 10 years till I can take my go on my Kanye vibe.
Yeah. You know? You're down to vibe?
Yeah, where I can just do something crazy. Rent out a stadium.
Just give me a ticket, man. Just fly me out, give me a ticket. I'll make sure to give you all the coverage,
Yeah.
and the commentary on what's happening, whatever it is you may be doing at the time. Uh, anything else you want to let people know about? Like anything upcoming that you want to let people know? Any things you want to shout out or anything like that?
mm, I got a song dropping. I just finished up mixing a song with Fashawn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got a song, full song with him that we just finished up that I'm really excited about. Um, and besides that, I mean, I'm always representing indieamplify.com, which is a website Futuristic and a few other people in my team started. That's like it's basically a one-stop shop for features, beats. Like you can get a feature from almost anyone in this whole lane on there.
Do you have a profile on there for people if they want any of your services?
I don't have an actual profile, but I have beats for sale under their exclusive beats tab.
Okay. Well,
So
hey,
that's a
throw
good
me.
place to get some beats if you don't want to actually
Yeah.
uh
Yeah, no,
yeah.
no, for sure. I mean, you guys have heard the story that Poetics has talked about here about his
Mm,
journey. You've heard about the people he's worked with. Clearly he has good quality product for any up and coming rappers that are out there looking to get on something that is maybe a little bit of better quality from what they would normally be able to get.
yeah.
You throw me the link, man. I'll make sure to
And
throw it in the comments or in the section below here in the description of this video, and people can go check that out and support it. And just make sure you tell Futuristic 20% commission to Joe K on any Indie Amplify
any
subscriptions. No.
the other thing that's crazy about it is because they offer so much that it's like you can pick an artist, so you can get Jaron Benton, Dizzy Wright,
Hmm.
like they have like several hundred artists, and you can not only get features, but you can buy primary slots to where like you can release a song with them.
Hmm.
Uh, so it's crazy. And then on top of that, as a rapper, you can sign up and put yourself on there, and you can sell features through there, and people will. From what I've heard, like as a rapper, people go on there just to get features all the time. Like that's
Hmm.
the top selling thing. So if you're a rapper, get on that ASAP because it's gonna blow up this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Dude, I
got
think
all
it's a great
kinds of
idea.
marketing plan, tons of contests. Uh, they're doing as of right now. Futuristics hosting a contest on there for a spot on a remix of the "I'll Guess I'll Smoke" song that he did with
Hmm.
Dizzy Wright. So they're gonna release a remix with Dizzy Wright and Burner, and then also the winner of the contest. So
Nice.
it's like they're doing a contest like that like every 2 or 3 weeks all year.
Yeah, well, guys, make sure you guys are keeping up on that. Everyone that's watching this video, make sure to check that out because, again, why pass up on a good opportunity? Take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. That's what Poetics has done here throughout his career so far, and it's paid dividends, man.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah.
Working and twerking. That's all I do.
Absolutely. Hopefully, more working than twerking, but
Yeah.
uh, hopefully you don't have to resort to that. Uh, but no, man, thanks again for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. And everybody, make sure to go check out Poetics. I will put all of his social media links in the description of this video below so you guys can go follow him on all the different social media platforms. And you guys know, until next time, my name's Joe K. It's just another day in the underground.